Hello there. I'm here to show you a wonderful place.
Amazon has just released a thrilling trailer for their upcoming Fallout live-action series based on the very popular game franchise. And unless you have spent a cumulative year of your life playing these games like I have, which is not an exaggeration, you probably have a ton of questions about this new universe, which not only depicts a future apocalypse, but also a divergent world history. Hey everyone, my name is Eric and welcome to What Did I Miss?, where today I will be telling you all you need to know about the new Fallout series on Amazon by breaking down the latest trailer. I decided that for this video, to make it more for viewers who will be introduced to the Fallout narrative for the first time on this series and try not to reveal any spoilers tied to the games. The producers on the live-action series have said that this story will basically be like the next game in the video game series as it exists after the events of all the games. This means that we will see a lot of familiar things in the Wasteland, but also that there should be a good number of surprises. But before I get into any of this, I just want to thank you for clicking on this video and ask that if you would like to support the channel, to please hit the like button and subscribe for future videos like this one. The Fallout games exist in an alternate timeline that began with the introduction of nuclear power. While the world powers in the real world decided that after World War II that nuclear power was too dangerous, in the Fallout universe, nuclear power was monetized and put into everything from cars to household appliances. Because of this, much of the aesthetic left over from before the bombs dropped is stuck in what we would consider the 1950s or 1960s era, since it appears that after World War II, people were far more concerned with scientific advancement, which led to the development of advanced weaponry and artificial intelligence. In the late 21st century, the continued escalation of tensions between the United States and forces on the other side of the globe led to the last World War, known as the Great War, which saw both attempt to destroy each other with nuclear weaponry. In the years leading up to the Great War, a company named Vault-Tec begins to gain prominence by constructing over 100 underground bunkers around the United States that are affectionately known as vaults. These vaults are designed to withstand the end of the world and house a group of survivors for hundreds of years. It is in one of these vaults, Vault 33, where we meet one of our protagonists named Lucy, played by Ella Purnell, who you may know from the series Yellow Jackets or the film Army of the Dead. It appears that Lucy is the stand-in for the character that a new player would create upon beginning a Fallout video game, and the viewer will be introduced to the Fallout Wasteland through her eyes. The trailer begins on another one of the protagonists of the series, which there are 3. Here, we see the character then known as Cooper Howard, who will be played by Walton Goggins, an amazing character actor, probably best known as Boyd Crowder on Justified. He'll be playing basically 2 characters, as later in the trailer we are introduced to his disfigured alter ego, known simply as the Ghoul. Ghouls are another staple of the Fallout universe, who are people that were not able to get into a vault before the bombs dropped, and have been affected by the irradiation caused by the nuclear war. Many ghouls have lost their humanity entirely and become feral, but there are also many ghouls that have kept most of their humanity for hundreds of years and survived in the Wasteland. The fact that Walton Goggins' character is known simply as the Ghoul may be a hint that there are not many ghouls around by this point. Cooper Howard describes the vaults as a wonderful place that are not built by God but man, and we see an example of this dichotomy with the projection of a farmland and sunny sky on the ceiling of an underground vault. It is also important to point out how similar this environment looks to the vault seen in the games, as everything from the costumes to the architecture are taken directly from the source material. The smiling man in this scene is the leader of the vault, known as the Overseer, who is named Hank and played by Kyle MacLachlan, best known for his role on the cult classic series Twin Peaks. He is also Lucy's father, and plot details have emerged that hint that something happens to Hank that causes Lucy to leave the vault at the beginning of the series. After the Vault-Tec commercial, we see a ruined Santa Monica Pier after the end of the world. There looks to be a vault entrance in the lower right corner of this shot, so this could be the first thing that Lucy sees when she leaves the vault as well. Next we see a crater in the middle of a town and a sign for Shady Sands Library. This is a huge Easter egg for fans of the games, as Shady Sands is a location in the first 2 Fallout games. It is also one of the first locations the player visits in the first Fallout game, and has strong ties to a faction known as the New California Republic that I'm going to talk about more in a bit. As Lucy leaves the vault and begins her journey, we get a few more cool Easter eggs from the games with a stim pack and a Vault-Tec bobblehead in the display case of this junk store. The store is run by a character named Ma June, who is played by actress Diana Dickey, who is known for playing many creepy characters like this one from Breaking Bad.
Ain't no skank.
While this character is not taken directly from the Fallout games, these types of shops are also very popular in the later editions. Then we see this very cool shot of Lucy looking out towards the wasteland, and it looks like she is carrying a head in her left hand. I have a theory about whose head this is that I will reveal towards the end of this breakdown. Next, we get what could be our first meeting between two of our protagonists, the Ghoul and Lucy, at what remains of Hollywood Boulevard. Next, Lucy has an unfortunate encounter with a multi-limbed robot who states that he wants to harvest her organs. This is a robot known as Mr. Handy that were used before the war as household servants, but since then many have been repurposed for tactical or medical use. Mr. Handy is voiced by English comedian Matt Berry, who many will know from the series What We Do in the Shadows. We are then introduced to the character Wilzig, who is played by Michael Emerson. His character tries to warn Lucy about the dangers of the wasteland, but I think there's more going on with him than meets the eye. After Wilzig's warning, we meet our third and final protagonist, named Maximus, who is played by Aaron Moten. Maximus is a member of the Brotherhood of Steel, a prominent faction in the Fallout universe that is on a crusade to eradicate anything that is not human and anyone else that would stand in their way. Again, I don't want to possibly spoil something that we learn about the faction in the live-action series. It's safe to say that nothing in the Fallout universe is exactly what it seems to be. The Brotherhood of Steel are known for their use of power armor, which are nuclear-powered mech suits that were used by the military before the war and have since been salvaged. There are also many Arthurian connections to the Brotherhood of Steel, such as the wearers of power armor being known as knights, and their base of operations in this series is named the Caswenin, which was also the name of one of King Arthur's horses. Then we get a shot of the Ghoul walking in the wasteland with a dog by his side. Dogmeat is a very popular companion for the main character in the fourth Fallout game, and while this dog cannot be the same character, it is an obvious reference to Dogmeat. The pair are walking by a ruined establishment with a donut on top, which in the games are known as Slocum Joe's. What happens next is a crazy scene where the Ghoul brutally takes out at least a couple hostiles before being shot with a syringe by Lucy. This occurs right outside Ma June's Sundaries in a junk town that is named Philly, and in the next shot we see that Wilzig has lost his foot in the battle, which does not seem to be bothering him that much. Drugs are also very prominent in the Fallout games, and most enhance the player's abilities. It appears that the Ghoul has been using many of these drugs since the bombs fell, and this may be why he has not turned feral. Then we get the shot that most people are talking about after the trailer release, which is the first confirmation that a second faction from the games, known as the New California Republic, will be a part of the series. As during the melee, we see a flag from their faction on the battlefield. It looks like the Brotherhood attacked their base, which is located in the remains of the Griffith Observatory, using these flying ships known as vertibirds. The New California Republic are another militaristic faction in the Fallout universe and are often at odds with the other factions. We also see the Ghoul looking at an old TV set and seeing himself as Cooper Howard before the Great War. One of the mysteries that has lingered throughout the Fallout games is what actually happened before the bombs dropped, as only one game in the entire series even shows us a brief glimpse of this. Since we not only see the Ghoul reminisce about his past life, but also get scenes from before the bombs fell, fans of the games may finally get answers to many of these questions. It also appears that Cooper Howard may have worked for Vault-Tec, and if so, he probably holds a grudge after not being admitted to a vault. So through him, we may learn more about this mysterious organization, and it also may shape his feelings about meeting Lucy, who was born in a vault. Then we get a lot of quick action shots, which include this monster emerging from the water, which I believe is a version of a creature known as a gulper. Because of the radiation in the atmosphere, every animal and insect that survived has mutated into a larger and more dangerous version of itself, and we will see many of these monstrosities throughout the series. Another interesting shot is this one of Wilzig in a scientist's coat, injecting a rather large needle into his head. I have a theory that Wilzig is actually a synth, or an android created to mimic a human being. Synths are a relatively new concept in Fallout, and were first introduced in the third game, but were a much bigger part of Fallout 4. They are robots that have evolved to the point where they are almost indistinguishable from human beings, and many are not even aware that they are not their human counterparts, as most synths are based on a living human being and then replace them once they are activated, similar to the character Marcus from the movie Terminator Salvation. There is a lot more to synths, but I don't want to spoil anything that may be revealed in the series. But the fact that we see Wilzig perform this on himself, and we see him without his foot but not screaming in pain in a prior shot, compound with this shot of Lucy holding a head, which I believe is Wilzig's, have led me to this theory. Finally, we see Lucy and the Ghoul enter a Super Duper Mart, which is also taken from the games, and there are Halloween decorations in the store. The bombs dropped on October 23, 2077, so it's very common to see Halloween decorations in the wasteland, another nice touch added from the games. Then the final shot is of a leveled up Lucy, and she even has some new armor on, which is also taken directly from the games. The trailer also revealed that Amazon will be releasing all 8 episodes on April 11th, so make sure that you check back here after you watch the series for all the Easter eggs and references that you may have missed. Well, that was everything I saw, but let me know in the comments if I missed anything. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit that like button before you go, and I'll see you next time on What Did I Miss?